Hello, Greg from Balloon Market here, and welcome to BMTV. This week, we're joined by yet another new guest, Matt Lewis. Matt, thank you for coming.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. Right, now, Matt, you are going to be doing this training with Stuart. Now, we saw Stuart a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
And you're going to be doing that, so we'll come to talk about that
Okay.
a little bit more and get your view on it. But to start with, I want you to introduce yourself to everybody out there. Tell us a little bit about your story. How long have you been in the industry? How did you get in the industry? What did you do before?
Okay. If I said to you 30 years in the industry now.
There's no way you're that old.
If I said to you I took my CBA in 1994.
Okay.
It's scary.
Okay.
It's scary.
The thing is, 1994 to me still seems like yesterday. I don't know if it's the same for you.
I've still got some of the same clothes from 1994. My background, I started off as a window dresser, and so in large department stores. So it was basically, we had to come up with the interior displays and the window displays for House of Fraser, Rackham's in Leamington. And I had a very amazing boss, fortunately he's not with us now, and he monitored me and mentored me all the way, and he was kind and considerate. He never lost his temper, and he showed me what was good, what wasn't good. He taught me the elements and principles of design, and what looks good to your eye should look good, if it's out there, the good color ranges you can do. And we also, as in with the department stores, we had to think on our feet. You would, Monday morning, right, you're doing the fashion window, you're doing the lingerie window, you're doing the Aramis window, there's a cosmetic window to do. We had these lists, and we had to go and choose the clothing, and we had to go to the departments, and you had to choose the colours, and it had to be right in fashion, right in season. And it just went on from there, and it was phenomenal because we would go from fashion right through to hardware, right through to groceries and food and wine, and you just had to get it right first time.
Wow. So that's quite an interesting job, because you must have to think in a different way. If you're going to be displaying fridges in a different way to underwear.
Yeah. It is. I mean, when I was at Rackham's, we had a system there. We had a thing called a blue warning. I don't know if you want to put this out there, but when you get three blue warnings from House of Fraser, you are out the door. You're dismissed. Okay. When I left after 6 years, they handed me a file, and I had 37 blue warnings in that file, because the things I used to do, they would have to list them down what I did, and I go on then, put it on there. And they're like, oh, we can't put that down. Okay, see you at the next meeting. But we would, with the display, you were given the free run. You were jeans and t-shirts. You didn't have to wear a suit. Jeans and t-shirts. You're in the windows, and you were totally involved and engrossed in the work. And it was just so exciting. Every day it was a different challenge. It was a different ball game every day.
So how did you get from that? Because it sounds like you really enjoyed it. And you're really enthusiastic about it. So how did you get from that into balloons?
What happened was window dressing changed, and it changed to, here's a picture. We want you to put that in the window. It took the creativity out of it.
Oh, I see.
And so I left there and I went to work for Chelsea Gill, which was the travelling around the country putting the windows together. And I lasted about a year there. And all of a sudden I was introduced to a hotel chain, Hilton Hotels. And they took me under their wing, and they asked me to put on promotions for when Hilton had been bought out by Ladbrokes betting shops, and all the Ladbroke Mercury hotels went to Hilton Hotels. They said we want promotions in certain hotels, and I was putting on promotions in hotels. There was no balloons in mention at all. There was nothing. And all of a sudden one day someone came in and said, oh Matt, can you do some balloons for a function? And I looked at them absolutely, balloons for a function, what are you on about? We can do this on the table centres, we can do this. I said, no, they just want the 3 balloons on the table. So 30 years ago, I put my first 3 balloons on a table, and they were tied to the candelabra.
So you were working for Hilton, you were doing this, and that was your first time you touched the balloon. How did that progress?
And then it progressed from, they came to me and said, oh, we want some printed balloons. And I didn't know where to get them from. I went to BOC, I went everywhere. Eventually I found a supplier in Birmingham who had his own print machine, and it was an offset print machine. And I went there, ordered the balloons, and he sort of like took me under his wing and said, do you want to come and work for us on a freelance basis? And I learnt everything from this guy to start off with, And then it evolved and it evolved, and then I got introduced to Qualitex, and I met Lois, and there's a funny story about with the floristry show in Birmingham at the ICC. They asked me to go there and help with the exhibition stand. So I said, no problem at all. So Pioneer got in touch with me. Yeah, I went up there and I walked in, and there was this huge big dragon being made. I thought, fantastic. Got totally involved with that. And for 4 hours, I worked on this stand, and it was the wrong stand. I was working with Jan Steele, I was working with Centre Stage, and all of a sudden, mobile phones were just in there, and I got a phone call saying, Matt, where are you? I said, I'm working right now, I'm working on the Dragon. He goes, no, you're on the wrong stand, Matt.
Oh, no.
I was Bloom Supply of America then. I was like, oh, all right then. So I just panicked, went, hi, I'm here. And that's where I met a lot of people in the industry. And from then on, my friendship with people has just grown and grown and grown.
Yeah. So what do you think is, you've been around obviously for 30 years, you say. So what do you think is the secret to your success? How have you been around so long? What have you done that might be? Because there's been lots of people that have come and gone.
Yeah.
But why are you still here?
I think it's, number one, the love of the industry. This is such a fun industry. It's a creative industry. It's evolved over the years. It's now all very much social media based. Yeah. But I loved what I did. I loved walking into rooms and creating something and stand back and getting the wow factor and getting the feel good factor from it. And Bloom's just offered that straight away. So I think I'm still in it because I love it. I have a passion for it, and I want to see it evolve and get better and better. And there's still a long way to go. So
do you still do 3 balloon bouquets?
Yes.
Okay.
If that's what my client wants, that's what I'm going to do for them.
Okay.
Just because even if I don't like it, if that's what they want, they have it. Because if I don't do it, somebody else will. And it's all important. Money in your till is important. And some of my biggest jobs have come from supporting a client with just 3 balloons on a table. Yeah. And all of a sudden, they can see what you do, and you can evolve with them, and you can, under your guidance, you can create better events for them.
Yeah. So they will then buy into you, and then you can suggest things and grow, and then create.
Well, for example, we used to deal with a company called Arena Events. They're no longer there. They sort of like shut down, and they used to do the party nights at Spring Fair and the NEC, and they would take over 2 of the halls and put a fun fair in there, full fun fair, waltzers, dodgems, roller coasters, big wheels, the whole lot. Yeah. And they came to me and said, "Can you put 3 balloons on every table because no one will?" I went, yeah, I can do that for you. So I went over there in the van. You drove the van into the hall. It was 60 bouquets of 3, just put them on the tables. And they went, brilliant, we want this all next year. They went from the first customer spending, say, £400 or £500 with me, to the next order came in at £12,000 for every single party night. But that's when the party nights were big. Yeah. And you could go there, and I think the tickets were £89 a ticket. You got all your food, all your alcohol. The alcohol was served in bars, which were fun fair stalls, and you had waltzers, dodgems, and a big wheel. Yeah, and
sounds amazing.
And if you went on the dodgems, you'd had a few drinks, and then they had the biggest dance floor ever, and it was just the most amazing party nights. Yeah, and that's how it evolved from there. And then table centres came in, balloon drops came in, and I just kept going and going and going.
So is it fair to say that then you've adapted over the years? Because now let's talk about some of the big names that you've done work for now. Yeah. So go.
Okay, Idiot Abroad.
Okay.
Me and Carl Pilkington.
Yeah.
We're not like that. Okay. But if anyone saw Idiot Abroad, you will have seen an episode where they tried to lift Carl with balloons, big 8-foot chloroprenes.
I don't remember that one.
Yes, didn't you see it?
No,
you missed a treat.
I watched them all.
And they're trying to lift him. Now, it wouldn't work. We knew it wouldn't work because he only had 12 balloons on him. Yeah. And each 8-foot balloon has a stone of lift. Yeah. So with his clothing, not going to work. So Warwick Davis was in the programme at the time, and it was planned that Warwick Davis would be put into the balloons, but Warwick Davis didn't actually know. So we just got hold of Warwick Davis, we took Carl out the harness, and we just lay Warwick on the floor, and he had no idea. And I strapped all the harnesses to him, all the carabiners, and I said, my last request was right. I said, there's 12 balloons up there. I said, you weigh about 5 stone. You're going to go up like a rocket. But we had safety cords on him. We had mountaineering ropes. There's 12 safety cords. You'll notice in the video, there's loads of kids as well, and there's a reason behind those. They saved our lives. And we let him go, and he just shot up, and we got these tension ropes, and before he went up, I tied a pair of scissors to him. I said, if anything happens, you take these cords and you cut them off one by one until you've got 4 balloons left, and then you'll start to come down. Yeah. And there was no rams, no health and safety, probably the scariest thing I've ever done. But you know what? It was such a buzz, and it all came totally by accident.
How did they save your life?
What happened was, we were in the field, it was in Romania, Macedonia. Yeah. the old Yugoslavia, and it was very gypsy orientated, Romany gypsies, and we were filming in this field, and the gypsies said it belonged to them, so they wanted something off us to stay in the field. We were given 2 Russian security guards who were 2 of the biggest girls I've ever seen, and one of those girls actually put one of the gypsies on the floor with one hit.
Wow.
She was not going to have any hassle. And there's a guy came up to us, and he had a horse and cart, and he stood by us, and he got a scythe out the back of the horse and cart, and he started cutting the grass. And I was with the production manager. I said, what's he doing? He said, I was cutting the grass. I went, there's a whole field here, why is he cutting the grass next to us? And he just picked the scythe and took a swipe at us. And if we hadn't have both fallen to the floor, we wouldn't be here now. And these kids came running over to say he was okay. He was a bit of a loose cannon, and it was I ran. I mean, all you had to do was put on the Benny Hill music, and that was me across that field. I was gone. I didn't care.
Well, as you would be, yeah. Wow.
Calm down. We got it all done, and believe it or not, at the end of the day, the kids are in that that segment because we just couldn't let them go. They were the most, and at the end of the day, they just wanted some stuff. And they wanted, so we gave them pizzas and we gave them bottles of water, and that's all they wanted. And it was a great day. But yeah, some of the big names.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know about that big name.
Abroad, so that's great. I mean, you know the other one.
Well, come on.
It's the biggest rock and roll gig I've ever done.
You've
Black Sabbath.
never mentioned it.
Never mentioned this, but Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath. Balloon drops for Black Sabbath. First did it in 2014 for the 14 tour, and then I was contacted to do it again for the End tour. Which was the final closure of Black Sabbath. They're still around, but they're just not doing the mass touring anymore. And the brief originally was to drop 200 3-foot balloons at every concert. So I worked very closely with Mike Harris, who I do is my right-hand man on a job like that. You need a right-hand man. And we have an eyes and ears on the ground, which was Sandra McEwen in Dublin. So we flew out to Dublin. We did the balloon drop, absolutely fine, 200 3-footers. We've got the cue, we know when the cue is, it's on the certain record, Children of the Grave, 3 minutes, 16 seconds in, I can never forget that. We pull the drops and down they come. Balloons bounce all around the arena. The reason why we use 3-foot balloons is because they don't disappear. You use 11-inch balloons, they just into the crowd, they're gone. You use 3-foot balloons, the interaction with
people bounce them around.
All these rockers, really high rockers, absolutely bouncing these 3-footers around. Close of the night, they do Paranoid. There's 45 kilos of flutterfetti launched throughout the whole arena, all printed Black Sabbath, the end, goodbye.
Wow.
We come down out the gods. We were up in the gods pool doing the nets. We were right above the stage. And we're coming down, the arena's cleared, and they've got the big trucks in, sweeping everything up. The stage is coming out, the sets are coming out, it's going off to Manchester. And from the corner of our eye, I'm with Mike, and I see Sharon Osbourne walking across the arena to us with the tour manager, who we know. And I said to Mike, here comes Sharon, and blimey, I said, you look on Sharon's face. You know when someone walks you in a certain way, and you're like, okay, hi, Sharon, everything okay? No, it wasn't, it was rubbish. And it was totally took me back. I went, what do you mean it was rubbish? Well, we pulled on time. I was stuttering. I said, we pulled on time. She said, well, it wasn't enough balloons. I went, well, we actually put 225 balloons up for you. Only asked for 200, but we put a few extra in because we had them. What was the problem? She said, it wasn't enough. How many do you think will look good at the O2? I went, well, I said, you could probably do 600. She went, do it. I went, but you've just trebled the order. So she trebled the order there and then. And I know this sounds a bit crazy and some people wouldn't have done it. They had a credit account with me. And they're Black Sabbath. They're not going to do anybody. It's the credibility they have. And that was a big job, and it paid off because we toured with them. We dropped 600 3-footers at the next lot of concerts. So we did 36 balloon drops, 3,600 3-footers coming down bang on time every night. And I'd still say it's the most nerve-wracking job I've ever done because you've got that cord in your hand, and you know the cue, and you've got all the staff around you in the grids above 51 metres above, and you've got those cords in your hand, and you're thinking, God, I hope this works. Please don't let it jam. You go from absolute terrified to you see those balloons descending to absolute euphoria, and you're bouncing around, and it's the feeling. And I was on a high every night for the whole tour. I had to go and drink beer to calm down.
And you quite like the music as well, so that was another benefit, wasn't it?
I'm a rock music fan. If you see my phone, it's AC/DC, Aerosmith, it's Storm, Thunder, Van Halen. It's got the whole lot in it, and I get so emotional about rock music because it's real music. They wrote the songs, they play the instruments, and they get up and sing live on those stages. So for me, anything like that is absolutely amazing.
I think it's great to find people's stories and to hear stories like that. I didn't know about the Warwick Davies thing.
Yeah, and that is hilarious. Watch it, Idiot series.
I will have to have a look at that now.
I think it's series 3, episode 1.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's good. It's good. Yeah.
Anyway, we could go on. We're going to talk about a few other things, but you're actually going to show us how to do something. Now, you came up with, or I thought you came up with an idea a few years ago of putting this inside a bubble balloon.
Okay.
And I thought that was a really great thing. And it's like, let's just put some tulle inside there.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't actually come up with the idea. Years ago, Chris Horn put tulle inside an 11-inch clear balloon, which was then inside a 16-inch balloon, which was then inside a 24-inch balloon.
Okay.
And he inflated it, and he called it Misty. And it was I sold those for weddings all over the place. They were brilliant. You attached it to tulle. I didn't invent that idea. I came up with the name because over the years, I can stuff some tulle inside a bubble. I'm like, really stuff? It just doesn't sound right.
A tulle stuffed bubble.
Tulle stuffed bubble. So because I used to work in hotels and in restaurants, they were all about trying to create different tastes for people, and they called it infusing food. So I said, I'm going to infuse. And the infuse, it just came in. But I even got a phone call from Chris, said, brilliant name, I'll give you that. Tulle Infused Bubbles. And I think a lot of people now use the Tulle Infused Bubble, the name. And if that's the one thing I've done for this industry, I'm happy.
But it's like that we were talking about earlier on, off camera, talking about how language can really change the perception of what it is you're offering. Yeah. So Tulle Infused Bubble is far better than tulle stuffed in a bubble.
Yeah, it just sounds better.
Yeah.
Would you go, I mean, do you want some herbs stuffed inside a chicken, or do you want infused?
Yeah.
The infused sounds, it sounds like, they've thought about it. Yeah. It's a little bit different. I've got infused balloons at my wedding.
So let's do some.
So what we've got is, you've got the 24-inch Qualitex bubble.
Yep.
You'll need a funnel. You'll need a stick. What we're going to use is just a balloon stick. Stick it in. We've actually got You're going to infuse it. We've got 9 meters of tulle.
9 meters?
9
really?
meters, yes.
That's a lot.
You think how that's light. You feel how light that is?
So that's 9 meters,
That's
right
9
there.
meters of tulle. Yeah,
Okay.
just cut off the roll. 9 meters of tulle.
All right.
Okay, so the way to do this, everyone thinks you just get the funnel, put it in the end and stuff the tulle in. No, just take a little bit of helium first of all, and just a little bit in there. Just to open it up, okay? We're then going to get our funnel and place it over the end. That's it. You take your tulle from the start, you place it in, and you just push in. In goes your 9 meters of tulle. How simple is that? Just keep pushing it in.
That's really quick as well.
It's quick, it's simple. Take it off. Then you inflate your bubble to the desired size, which is all the creases.
All the creases out.
On the outside. Okay. What I tend to do now is I twist the bubble.
Okay.
Okay. I get a 260 and I put the times round. Okay.
How are you doing that? That's really...
Just twisting it like that.
So you're not going round the neck?
No, just twisting it around the whole thing. Tie it off. Nice and tight. I'm going to trim these bits now because I'm not going to actually use these pieces anymore. What I'm going to do is take a piece of nylon and tie it around the neck. Now, a lot of people then put a collar on these. I don't have a problem with that. I do it for birthday parties, but weddings, if you're doing this for a wedding, I think it needs to be a little bit more delicate.
Okay.
A delicate finish. Okay. So let's take our line off there.
Did you bring that yourself, or do we sell that?
No, that's my line.
Okay.
That's my fishing line.
All right. Proper fishing line.
Proper fishing line.
Fishing.
Okay, so we've got our weight.
Yeah.
We're just going to attach that straight underneath. I've done a pink one because it was hanging around on the chair over there.
Yeah.
Pop that in there. I'm going to pop my bubble in, and I'm going to lift it to the size I think I want it. Now, when you're doing these on tables, you've got to think about vision across the table.
Yeah,
they say the rule is this, but you want this a little bit higher. Also, some hotels, you're having weddings in rooms that are quite small, so I tend to know the venues I'm going to. If I'm doing a wedding, I don't do weddings all the time, but I know the venue. Okay, all I'm going to do is twist this in. I haven't even knotted it. I don't think that would ever come out.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do is just trim that off there. Now, as I said, this looks a bit hideous now, and a lot of people put a 5 cluster of oak cluster balloons underneath it.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Welcome. But I've noticed this.
Yes.
It's a really, really lovely, it's a nice and heavy ribbon.
So you just spotted that in the warehouse?
I just spotted that. I just walked around the warehouse. I've got boxes full, so I must tell you about it later on. but I've just walked around your warehouse. It's absolutely phenomenal. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to V the ends, fold them over, just one straight cut. It always looks better.
Okay.
Just a V'd end. Okay. All I want to do is hide that.
So you just want to hide the knot?
Just want to hide it. So if you're like me, you want to work a bit tighter on it, I'm just going to tie, I'm not going to do a bow on it. I'm just going to tie that round there, pull it up and through.
Okay. And just leave it hanging down like that?
Yeah. It's on nylon. Okay. Now, you've also got to remember, you've got tulle in here. Anything you add to this adds weight to it. It's still buoyant. If I was to put 2 or 3 pieces on there, it would weigh it down. It would decrease the floating time. But I've also noticed you've got a thinner, you've got a thinner version, which I think is brilliant. 2 different sizes or thicknesses of ribbon. And I'm not going to tie that directly around there. I'm still going to V the edges because it is all about how it's supposed to look. Even if you're just doing this, it can set you off. They've cared a little bit more about it. What I'm going to do is just tie that round there.
Go in the middle.
And push up.
And
then you can alter how you want. You might want to put a bow round here. So if you wanted a bow, and I think the bow would be done with the thicker ribbon, V your ends again.
So it's all these little attention to detail.
It's the things I was taught when I was a window dresser. It's the little things that really matter. It's like in a relationship. It's the little things that matter, not the big things. It's the little bits of attention to detail. So we could just tie this underneath there as a bow, bringing it all together. Bows are not my forte, I will admit that, but we try our best. Probably a bit
like you were saying earlier on, nobody's going to be going up to this and looking at it really closely.
This is what people think. Oh, they're going to complain about this. They're not. It's going to look phenomenal. And it's just a little bow on there. It just hides all the mechanics. It's there. You pull the edges down. It's quite nice.
You can have a play with it. It's like putting a bow tie on. I can never do a bow tie perfectly.
And that's why we have those clip-on ones. That's so you can't get strangled. But,
I like the tie ones. But it takes me 4 times to get them.
I actually wear them open neck. I don't wear bow ties. But I want to try and incorporate this into the base as well. So just 2 pieces of tulle and a 260Q, push it through.
I've never seen it done like that before. I've seen balloons obviously done like that.
But that's just makes it
brilliant.
Now that is just very, very simple for a wedding. And you know what? You do 10 tables like that and something different, and it's just gonna blow them away. It's simple.
The added value, we talk a lot on BMTV about added value. And if you just look, you could put just a normal frilly weight on there.
You could. You don't have to.
But the cost of that and this, I've never seen this before. So that's great.
If you didn't want, you could just pull that to the side. And you could do it coming out the side.
You could put more on there.
You could put more on. You can fan it out a bit. The nice thing about that, I mean, this was a trick taught to me by Mark Drury with doing the tulle on the 260.
Mark Drury, is he the Qualitex guy?
He's something to do with Qualitex. I see him every day. He's the one with a different hairstyle every time I see him. But it's just that really that makes the difference. That sat on the table. The beauty about this, do it 2 or 3 days in advance. So if you've got a busy Saturday, you're just out there delivering it, put it on the tables and going.
That's fantastic. Love it. So let's put this down here. Now I want to talk to you. Thanks for that.
No problem.
I want to talk to you about the training. So you last year you did the tour with Stu.
And
you're doing the same again this year, but this time you're coming to Balloon Market,
We are.
which is great.
9th of
9th of August. Yes.
9th of August, yeah.
So we're quite excited about it. It's our usual venue around the corner.
Yeah.
So we're at
Football
the football club. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Wayne's sausage rolls will be provided.
Absolutely.
And yeah, we're amongst other things as well. Other things are available. I do have to remind people of that. It's not just sausage rolls, but the sausage rolls really are worth it. They are, honestly. You'll taste them. He's
I'm looking forward to them already.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
I'm salivating now.
They're not frozen and just put in the oven. No, he hand makes them from scratch. Good. Anyway, enough enthusiasm about that. But tell us a little bit more about the training.
Okay, the Grand Balloon Tour. I was teaching in San Diego at WBC with Stu, and we sat at the bar one night on our own. We were having a quiet drink, and we've always got on well together. And he just said to me, "Fancy doing a tour?" I went, "Yeah, okay." Didn't even think about it. We had no idea what we were going to do. Yeah, it's not a good idea. And we carried on and have a drink. I said, "Let's speak when we get back." So we both came back from San Diego. We gave it about a week. I said, "What are we going to do on this tour?" He goes, "Organic sounds good, doesn't it?" I said, "Yeah, we'll do a bit of organic." And then as we got talking, we think, actually, let's do a lot more than organic. Let's tell them how to sell the organic. It's not about inflating balloons. It's not about putting everything together. It's how you perceive organic. And we told them about the textures, adding foliage in there. Balloon shine, this is what people don't get hold of. We showed them the speed way of balloon shining. 2 gloves, 2 bottles, all over, and you just randomly. We can do a whole organic piece.
But it was a great success, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. I think it was 137 people over 5 locations. We slightly got one wrong on distance because we went from Essex to Coventry, Coventry to Manchester, Manchester to Glasgow, and then the last one was Bristol. So we had a 380 mile.
The following day?
No, we're not that suicidal. We went out, and I got in the van on the Saturday morning. The course wasn't until the Sunday in Bristol, and I said to Stu, right, we've got 380 miles to go, and I've got 3/4 tank of fuel, and we set ourselves a challenge: no more than 3 tanks of fuel on this whole journey. And during the course of during the tour, we set a challenge to everybody to say how many miles we would do. We told them the locations we were going to go to, set a challenge, and someone would just win a box of stuff we had left over. And we left Manchester about 10:30, and we just sat there. I put the cruise control on at 60 miles an hour all the way. And on the new vans, there's a trip that tells you how far you can go on the fuel, but that cuts out at 50 miles. So with 50 miles to go, I think we were about 55 miles from the venue. I just pulled into the service there. It was pulling through fumes. Went, "There, we've nearly done it." And Stu goes, "No, you haven't, have you?" I went, "Oh, come on, Stu, I've done this." He goes, "No, but you haven't. You've stopped your fuel." I say I did it because I could have got there. He said I didn't because I put fuel in.
Oh, right.
But we actually had.
But you still talk?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm his interpreter.
All right, okay.
Because he's Welsh. It's very hard to understand him at times. So, but he's a nice guy. He's all right. I tolerate him. He's a good guy.
That's funny. I think he said the same about you, didn't he?
Did he?
I don't know. Maybe.
I'll be having words with him about that one. But no, I think we've got a good respect for each other. We both bounce off each other. You'll find the tour is very humorous.
Okay.
It's very knowledgeable. It will show you the different techniques we use to create what we're going to create.
But it's going to be something slightly different this year. And we're going to talk about that in a completely separate show.
It's
because
totally different. It's totally different. It's everyone seems to put balloons around framework.
Yeah.
We're putting framework around balloons.
Ooh.
So it's a totally different way of doing it,
yeah.
And it's going to be absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's one of these things where I've always said with Stuart, if we're going to do something, we've got to be different. We've got to be different. Don't do the same thing. It's got to be different.
No, I'm really, really looking forward to it. So it's the 9th of August, and we'll be talking about it again very soon. So, Matt, thank you so much. You, as a guest, as you now know, have to ask the question of the week of the BMTV Nation.
Okay.
So, what is the question of the week?
Question of the week. As you've noticed over the recent years, I now don't have any hair. That wasn't my decision. That was a quick mistake on looking at the wrong dial on the shaver.
Oh dear.
So what I want to know is, hair or no hair? The choice is yours.
So should you grow your hair, is what you're saying?
Should I grow it back? I don't think I should.
Will you do whatever
Absolutely
everybody
not.
says?
I just want to know. Absolutely not. Because I am completely grey.
Okay.
Grey, so
all right, nothing wrong with grey. Nothing wrong with grey. Okay, leave your comments down below on Facebook and on YouTube. Should Matt grow his hair back or not? Anyway, Matt, thanks very much
No
for
problem
that.
at all, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. See you next time. Bye.